Monday, December 2nd. You're listening to the Day Weather Podcast. Thanks for listening. Although it's December 2nd, it feels more like maybe February 2nd just because we've had so much winter already, and we just started December. What a week it's been. Not only one, but two major snowstorms rolled through the Rockies and High Plains over the Thanksgiving travel period. Can't remember a Thanksgiving week so stormy as this one. It's been quite a while. We may have to go back to the late 70s and early 80s, open up the record books, and we take a look at cold and stormy late November weather like this. The good news is that we have a week of weather ahead where there isn't anything too bad coming our way. We'll get a chance to recover from the stormy weather. Not that we won't have some weather to deal with. We'll have a little bit of snow in the mountains tonight and tomorrow. We'll also have a system move across Utah and central Colorado Thursday. Now, both of these systems will produce a bit of snow in the mountains, especially the mountains of Colorado. Colorado's northwest areas, Walden, Steamboat, Craig, could get a little bit of snow out of the system as we get into Thursday. The mountains of southern Wyoming, a little bit of snow as well. But in terms of a major snow event like what we just had, don't see that this week. I think it'll be the mountains that will be the most impacted in the mountain communities, most impacted with these storms this week. One thing to watch with all the snow on the ground in many areas of Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Colorado, this is where you're going to watch your temperature forecast, especially if you live in a valley. Whether it's a broad river valley like the South Platte or the North Platte or other river valleys in the region, or you live in a mountain valley, this time of year, with the short days and the long nights and the fact that we've got snow cover now, you tend to see temperature forecasts that are just way too optimistic. You'll have daytime and nighttime temperatures much colder than forecast. That's just because the snow cover makes such a big difference. Now, in the Chinook zones, east of the divide, where you get the wind, places like Cheyenne, places like Laramie, you tend to see temperatures that do get warmer in the Chinooks. But in those valleys, like Walden, as you get over to Lander, Riverton, Torrington, and Scottsbluff, and even Douglas and Jackson Hole, you're just going to have the nights and the days colder than forecast. So you'll need to watch that as you check your phone apps. You'll see forecasts that are generally too optimistic with temperature. The reason is cold air is more dense. It's heavier. It goes to the lowest point of gravity, and cold air gets really, really dense. It's harder to move, while warmer air is less dense and is found higher up this time of year. So that's where you'll sometimes see the higher elevations warmer than the lower elevations. This is the time of year we usually see it. So we're going to go through the next 5 or 6 days with no major weather events. If we were to look at a stronger weather system, it will arrive Saturday night and Sunday. I don't think it's a big storm system, but it may have a bit more potential to produce some light snow on the plains of Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, and South Dakota as we get to the tail end of the weekend. In the meantime, we're going to see the weather take a little bit of a break, much more moderate. Temperatures will be closer to average. It's typical after a big stormy period that we just went through for there to be a break in the weather. There's just a little bit of a readjustment, although we're probably in 10 to 14 to 21 days going to go back to a stormy pattern again, as we're still looking at the same things set on the weather table that we had here in late October, November, which is warmer than average water temperatures in the North Pacific. They're still there. That's a cold signal. We also continue to see stratospheric warming developing in December, which pushes the cold air off the higher latitudes down into North America. We still see that, and that's a cold signal. We continue to be neutral in the El Nino area of the Pacific, where we don't have a La Nina or an El Nino right now. That's also a cold signal. So although we've got a break now, that doesn't mean we're going to go through all of December in a break, as we'll see what happens in about 10 to 14 days from now and see if we don't transition to a cold, wintry weather pattern really across all of North America. In the meantime, enjoy the break that's coming up. Thanks for listening to the Day Weather Podcast. We'll update you on Tuesday.